What's up, you spiritual gangsters? Welcome back to day 6. It's an exciting day. We're getting dynamic. We're going to start moving this bad boy around a little bit more. I'm going to take you guys through what we do every day at Coast Range CrossFit as the first thing before anything, our dynamic warm-up. Now, only go as far as you possibly can go and only do what your PT is telling you. And remember that this journey you're watching and going along with me is my journey and not yours. So be sure to stay true to what you're feeling and what you know your intuition is telling you to do and not to do. But start off with the opposite arm over the top. We're just trying to get good articular rotations through each one of the joints today from top to bottom. And I just finished a workout, so I'm actually using this as my warm down as well as my warm up earlier. And I absolutely love it as a good quick warm down when you don't have much time to think about doing other stuff. How many rotations you do, forward or backwards, is completely on feel. You want to go from kind of crunchy and a lot of noise and crappiness to it feeling really smooth and good, better, basically. Now this one, we're gonna start moving the other arm. We're going across the body each time, and I'm working through the scapular plane here. I'm just going nice and slow. I'm only going into a tiny bit of a stretch on that side. Nothing crazy at all, not going deep into it whatsoever. This is all just about getting blood to flow. And for me, after a workout, getting all of that dead blood to kind of flush out and the new blood to pump in. I'll take it up over the top, nice and slow. Oh, I went a little too far on that first one. Noted. We call those self-correcting exercises. It'll let you know if you go a little too far, and you got to really have intention before you go into the next one of what you're going to do. Really kind of prepare the body for it. I like to try to keep the other limbs when I'm doing bilateral work, which is just both limbs moving at the same time. I like to keep them even. So I could bring this one way up here, but then that would make this one want to be as cool as its older brother and kind of chase after it, which is not good for this one. So instead, the older brother's being really cool and hanging out with the younger brother and only pushing the younger brother as far as he can go, and maybe just giving him some company, not really there to like necessarily make him better per se. Nice and slow articular rotations with the shoulders up, back, forward. I want to keep it under tension the whole time. I don't want to just be like back, drop down, forward, up. I want it to feel like I'm in mud, and every inch I'm having to push through that mud, nice and, I would say, easy to moderate effort, not hard effort. And I'm not pushing down too far at all. Again, I'm just trying to get more blood pumping in there. So I'm trying to get the muscles that are around the joint, not necessarily like the tendons and ligaments, but like the bigger muscles, to just start pulling the blood and the enzymes and all those healing properties into this traumatized area, right? Same thing, but forward. Again, go off of feel, go off of intuition. Don't push this too far, too fast, too soon. This is my second shoulder surgery, it's hard to say, that I've been through. And I've helped dozens of other people come back from shoulder surgeries, worse than this, better than this, same as this. So I'm very confident and comfortable with being in this field. And I'm very understanding of the difference between, this is something to get comfortable with, big neck circles now, is the difference between pain and discomfort. Pain feels like sharp stabbing, kind of shuts you down. So like, for example, if I was going through this neck rotation and all of a sudden I got to here and I was like, ooh, hey, I'm gonna stay away from that range of motion. And instead I'm gonna kind of go around that range of motion. I find that sticky spot, I'll just kind of go around it nice and easy and then go back into the stretch. And I'm just giving that spot that's not ready for that range of motion its space and its time, and saying, hey, it's cool, man, we'll come back to you later, basically, but we're still gonna help a bunch of blood pump into this area. Okay, now take your right arm, reach up as high as you can and try to keep your belly braced, your hips square. So I think my belly button squared forward. And then I'm going to push my hips to the right and I'm going to bring my shoulders like as if there was a level on it. I'm tilting over, keeping that belly button straight forward and focusing on a big stretch through the lats and the obliques, the IT band chain that runs down the side of the leg there. And I'm just barely going into the stretch. Now, other side, I'm gonna keep both hands on my belly because I don't wanna reach up with this one just yet. We're only 6 days in. And I'm gonna still focus on tilting those shoulders, pushing the hip away. And I'll do it one more time on both sides. I'm also gonna focus on anchoring my feet in the ground. So if you watch my feet where I'm pointing, you see my beautiful, I probably can't from there, but I got good painted toes for my kids. I'm grabbing the ground with my toes. I'm creating a good arch position and I'm trying to like sink my feet into the ground as I'm pushing those hips away so that I can really focus on just these muscles here and not taking it just to the end range and digging into that joint itself. I'm trying to work more of the muscles that surround it. Okay, now, this either feels so good or so bad for you in the moment, so take it slow. But you're just gonna hang down and relax and pendulum the arm forward, backwards. Think north and south. And again, the other arm's there to be a nice big brother to this one, big sister, big non-binary. Shout out to my non-binary and trans and LGBTQ plus peeps out there. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys so much and your courage and your strength. Yeah, I'm one of those people. If you don't like that, you can, yeah, I'm serious. Anyways, north and south, nice and easy. And then west and east, and my body's moving, my arms aren't moving. It's almost like I'm kind of using a little bit of momentum of the hips, kind of counterbalancing to keep them moving. Awesome, now I'm gonna do some circular motions, go counterclockwise with them. This feels so good. Opposite way, clockwise now. Good stuff. Okay, now hands on belly, and I'm just kind of twisting and doing some windmills all the way to the top. Whoa, keep your balance. Let's try that again. Here we go, nice and controlled. We don't want to be out of control while we're doing this. Ooh, that's crazy coming up there, losing a little bit of balance. It's a good thing I'm doing this, right? Again, grabbing the ground with the toes, taking deep breaths in and out in this windmill, trunk twist. The idea here is to do two things, to separate the hips from the spine. So I'm trying to get my belly button as far to the left and the right as I can while I'm trying to keep my hips kind of square forward. I know they're moving a little side to side, but my intention is to keep them straight forward for my belly button to move left and right, back and forth. And then second is that my kidneys and my liver are right in this area that I'm twisting, which are my main filtering mechanisms when I do workouts or I'm about to work out, kind of either priming or helping that system clear out all the waste that I accumulated or I'm about to accumulate in that workout. A little wider stance now, big hip circles. This mat is getting really hot. It's black on the other side, so I flipped it over thinking I was being smart, but it's still hot up here in Gilroy, California. Let me know where you guys are at. I'd love to find out where you guys are watching from, or if this has helped you at all, or if you've sent this to a friend. While I'm doing these hip circles, again, I'm trying to keep my belly button or my hips square, so I'm not opening them right or left. I'm keeping them squared off. I'm moving to the left. I'm moving to like the southeast, to the south, to the southwest, to the northwest, to the northeast, right? And I'm working my way around that compass, and I'm doing the same thing in the other direction. I'm not opening myself to the west. I'm not opening myself to the east. Keeping my feet nice and grounded, and I'm working on internally, trying to feel it in my hips as I go laterally, trying to feel it in my hamstrings and my low back as I go to the back, again in the hips on this side, and then in the low back a little bit, and the hip flexors here as I go through this front position. I want to feel this constant stretch like we talked about with the shoulders, where we're kind of going through mud. So our feet are grounded, and this is a really active pose. I'm rooting my feet into the ground. We do the same thing other direction. Again, how many reps? Until it feels better, and this hip's feeling a little tight, so that's why I'm doing some more in this direction here and trying to just dig into it and pump some synovial fluid into that joint, some blood into that joint, and hopefully get the fascia to start to reorganize and hydrate itself as well. Now we're going into the knees. Feet come together. It's a solid little warm down routine, right? I gotta come off this mat. This thing is too hot. Way too hot. Oh my God. All right, so feet are together now. Bend our knees just slightly. Keep your heels rooted into the ground and give me some counterclockwise. Again, try to keep the arch in your foot. Yes, it will collapse as you go in and to the left and to the right a little bit, but I'm still grabbing the ground with my toes. I'm still keeping my heels down. Opposite direction. Let's go clockwise now. I'm stretching out the Achilles, the calves, front of the ankles. If you feel any kind of like blocks or pinches in the front of the ankles, take your time on this, or even go against a wall, put your toe against the wall and then stretch there. That might be good for it too. All right, now we're gonna dig back into those hips. So let's get this thing back in here. Hopefully it doesn't scold me too much. All right, yeah, one knee down, other knee is up, and we're gonna take it all the way through this one side. Back foot is pushing down into the ground, so I have the top of my foot on the ground in the back, and I'm pushing down for 3, 2, 1 in the back. 3, pushing down 2, pushing down 1, and when I relax that push down, I'm taking a breath out, and I'm taking up the space in the hip flexor that my body gave me. I'm gonna do that 3 to 5 times. Push down in the back for 3, 2, 1, out breath. As I relax into it. Stretching is all about having intention. Well, not just stretching, a lot of things. It's about having intention while under tension. And if I have intention in the back, 1, 2, 3, I relax and I breathe out at the same time. All of that coordination is telling my central nervous system, hey, I am not in any type of harm here. This stretching that you're feeling here is a good thing. Give me that space, open it up. That doesn't mean that that's going to increase the actual length of your muscles. It means that it's going to give you more space in the moment to get more blood pumping in there to prepare you for a workout or help you get that space back after a workout when those muscles are trying to tighten up on you. Now, next one you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the back knee, watch my back knee where I'm pointing, off the ground. And then I'm gonna think of myself being in like a squat almost. Imagine I had a bar on my back or in the front rack. I'd wanna keep my chest as upright as possible. And I'm trying to get my hip crease below my knee. So when I'm in this position, I'm trying to drop my hips down. I'm trying to lift my chest up, and I'm trying to get my hip crease below the top of that knee as I really just dig into a squat with a single leg, grabbing the ground with the toes, creating a good arch, pushing that knee out just slightly. I'm not over pushing it out. I'm just getting it to track over the toes. And then I'm feeling the tension in the back hip flexor as I try to push into that tension wherever it may feel. Some people might feel in the groin, in the outside of this hip, and this hip. It's wherever you're gonna be tightest, you're gonna feel it the most. So just kind of spend some time digging into that. And then I like to just kind of stay on the hip and on this squat position, but almost give it a break and focus more on range of motion. So now I'm gonna round my back and I'm just gonna sink deep into it, and I'm gonna go circular motions into that hip. I'm keeping that foot flat on the ground. I'm not on my toe here. My foot is down, my heel's down, and I'm just digging into those hips, trying to get it lower and lower. As a coach, this is where I know if people are gonna be able to squat below parallel today or not, or if we're gonna need to do some more warm-ups before we get into it. After this one, we'll just take a break for a second on that hip. Let it breathe. Let it kind of, let the stretches you just did sink into the muscles themselves and into the central nervous system. If we just go from 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, The body doesn't remember, oh, that stretch made this feel like this, and that stretch made this feel like this. It's just, oh, that was one big smack in the face of stretching. So when we go into this hamstring stretch, I'm doing what's called flossing. And that's where I'm taking the nerves and I'm trying to floss them through the muscles. So I'm gonna take my toes and point them forward. I'm gonna pull my toe back towards my knee. I'm gonna pull my leg back towards my hip. And I'm gonna feel this flossing of the sciatic nerve and the nerves that run down the back of my leg here. I'm also gonna go counterclockwise and clockwise to find some, what Kelly Starrett likes to call corners that feel kind of tight. And I'm gonna dig into those corners a little bit. Then I'm gonna go into that pigeon pose, just sweeping the leg down in front and then trying to get to 90 degrees if I can. If I can, I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it back a little bit, but I'm really trying to keep my hips squared forward, and I'm trying to get myself to groove into that back left hip. So I'm gonna sit down into it, I'm gonna come back to center, sit down into it, and I'm telling this joint, if you can't tell for the last few stretches that we've done, that, hey, I'm gonna be working you, or hey, we're going back to life, and I need you to have good range of motion so I can sit and stand and all those types of things. All right. Stop, we're switching sides. Same thing, all of those stretches on the other side. I push the back foot in the ground, 3, 2, 1. I relax it, I breathe out, I come forward, push down, 3, 2, 1. Even I start to rush sometimes. Push down, 3, 2, 1. Kind of pulling my knees in towards the middle. It really increases the stretch in the back hip flexor for me here, so give that a shot. Awesome, now we're getting into that squat pose. My hips are down, my chest is up. I'm grooving into that deep squat. Round in the back, I'm getting deeper into it. This whole time I'm loading this, back knees off the ground. Staying in the heel. Again, I'm not up on that toe or on the balls of the feet. My heels are rooted down. Helps me really feel a stretch in the back of the leg and isolate that hip more. Come back on the heel, give that thing a break. What a beautiful day here in Gilroy. Yeah, we're coming up on the 4th of July here pretty soon, and it's starting to get hot up in here. Holy cow. All right, sweep that leg down in front. We're almost there. We're almost to the home stretch, you guys. So this is the last kind of big stretch we'll do. Then we'll dig into the calves, the wrists. We'll finish it off with some functional movements, and then we'll get out of here. Again, I'm digging into that hip, telling it, hey, man, thanks for all the work you just did, but I'm going to need you to do some more for me today. So let's wake up. Let's get that range of motion back. Let's be like the other one too, right? So let's make sure that the range of motion feels, this one feels way better on this side than it does on the other side. So it's just a reminder to myself to pay more attention to the other side every once in a while. Yeah, now I'm going into the calves. Now this is where I'm gonna put one hand out in front. My other one's gonna be back here. I'm barely using it at all. I can even go fingertips just to support myself because I don't wanna load this arm just yet. And I'm going back and forth, getting into my calves. I'm pushing one heel down in this down dog position. And I'm just digging into the soleus area. And then I'm gonna go into the Achilles and heel cord a little more. I'm gonna bend those knees. I'm gonna keep them bent. And I'm gonna dig into one side and then dig into the other side. Hold on, almost done. Bend. Back and forth. Final thing into the wrists, just small circles. Slowly adding a little bit of pressure to the wrists. I don't know about you, but my joints upstream and downstream, so my elbows, my wrists, my fingers, my neck, have all been getting really kind of almost arthritic in a way, feeling. Turn them around. So sit my butt back towards my heels and get my forearms to loosen up. I was hanging on to the dumbbell on this one side today. Again, don't do dumbbell stuff unless your PT says it's okay, but my grip's a little tight, so this feels really good. Just rocking back and forth. Then I'm just gonna release that stretch, kind of like we did when we did on the hip, from the hip flexors to the hamstring stretch. Same idea here, is you're just going over stop to kind of release that tension on the wrists, going back and forth. And then we're putting this all into a functional movement, right? Which is the best one I can think of as a squat. So I'm gonna bring myself down into 3 squats, each one, trying to make it better. What does better mean? It means I have a good arch in my feet, so I'm grabbing the ground with my toes. It means my posterior chain is engaged, my butt cheeks and my hamstrings, and that means I'm pushing my knees out to the side to do that. It means that my hip crease is below the top of my knee, so I'm sitting down low enough that if I put a marble on my knee, it'd roll backwards. It means that I'm trying to pull my hips forward while keeping my heels down so that I'm nice and upright with my chest. My back is flat, and I'm standing straight up from there and trying to replicate that, but even more virtuous on rep number 2. Nice and slow on the way down, grabbing the ground with the toes, pushing the knees out, bringing the hips forward. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Stand, and let's do one more. Notice that I'm adjusting my stance each time because I want to dig into some other part of the hips or the knees each rep I do, or I even want to just challenge maybe a position that I've been going for. So maybe you have a really wide stance and you want to start narrowing that stance to increase your power. And this would be a good time to practice that type of thing. Make it uncomfortable here so it feels more comfortable as you slowly start to load it, pushing those knees out, bringing those hips forward. Stand. Namaste, bitches. Hope you guys enjoy following along, and I'll see you for day 7. That'll be a whole week worth of this stuff. I hope if you're following along, you're really proud of yourself and you've passed this along to somebody else. Remember, me and my daughter Joey's goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by this time next year, July of 2026. So like, share, Jesus. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You know I'm so embarrassed. See you later. Okay, bye.